Okay. We're on?
We're good, yeah.
Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
We are good to go,
Here
my
we are,
friends.
mate.
And now, for all you recluse humans of Earth, people of Earth, it is time once again for our beloved Big Chat show. Yes, indeed.
It's Film Banter, episode 15.
This is episode 15. That's right, 15 in the year 2016, which just keeps completely claiming our beloved celebrities.
Please.
It's just heartbreaking.
It's the year that will go down in infamy as the celebrity fucking harvest.
So very sad.
Celebrity harvest.
So very sad. We lost Carrie Fisher today, which is a heartbreaking thing.
Big loss.
It really is a big loss.
I'm still coping with it.
She's always been a kindred spirit to me. She just has a bizarre sense of humor. I've always loved that about her. So
and she's so frank about her life, and she's so
she always has been honest and
witty.
Absolutely, just a brilliant human being. And
it's a big loss.
All her books, Postcards from the Edge was a great little classic about her rehab years and so forth.
Yeah.
And it is heartbreaking. It truly, honestly is. It just kills me. So anyway,
really
we're here to review some films. So
yes, let's do what we're good at. You know.
By the way, my name is Daryl Smith.
Yes, and I am Chris Picard.
This is Christopher Picard.
We're not doing our silly names.
We're not doing our silly names. We were gonna do, Mike cock is itching or something like that, but we're not gonna do that.
We'll take a break.
We're not gonna do any of that kind of thing.
Although that is a good one.
I do like that one because sometimes my cock isn't itching.
Yeah.
So, so any of you, please don't turn off if you've been offended by any of these names. We do apologize to you and we do love you, even though you don't, you're easily offended. So we don't want that to be the case. There are other.
It's all in good fun.
There are other 59 minutes and 38 seconds involved in our show besides those two little names.
I know.
That are entered.
That is true when you put it in those context.
Fences.
Yes.
Take it, Mr. Picard.
I did see Denzel Washington's film Fences, which was obviously a film that he also directed.
Yes, it was a play on Broadway.
Yes, it was a play for a long time. Written by August Wilson, who also wrote the screenplay to this film.
Okay,
he did. And I know that this, if I'm not mistaken, this play is one of three that I guess are in. They're considered a trilogy of, I guess, black culture.
Okay.
And each one takes place in a different decade in America.
Okay.
This one took place in the 1950s.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Oh, interesting.
So, a brief synopsis is basically it's a story of a family. Denzel Washington is the father. The wonderful Viola Davis plays his wife.
Viola Davis.
They have a son.
She could be a Viola. You never
Viola,
know.
Viola.
She is a stand-up and a base.
I wasn't sure which way it was.
A base-shaped human.
You know who I'm talking about.
I do. Viola Davis. She's
and they
wonderful.
And
I believe she won an Oscar for The Help. Did she?
No, I thought she won supporting actress for. Wasn't it for Doubt?
Was it Doubt?
I believe it was Doubt.
She wasn't even in Doubt.
Yes, she was in Doubt. That was her huge breakout
that was
film.
Amy Adams.
Yeah, but she played the mother of one of the kids.
Oh
in the
yeah,
class, and she had that heartbreaking scene.
Heartbreaking scene. Always that heartbreaking.
Anyway, so they have a son who is in high school, and the whole story is about just how there's not a rebellious nature to the son, but the father's always on his butt about everything. And so. It's a story of their culture and what the African Americans went through in the middle of the 20th century.
And these are poor black folks.
You could say that the poor black folk, they live in their own little part of town of Pittsburgh, and Denzel drives not drives, but he works as a garbage man every day. And he's not too thrilled about it, and
I wouldn't be.
He wants his son to have a better life than him, and so there's a lot of resentment. There's some things we learn as the story goes around that he feels that he was not done right in a certain phase of his life.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of bitter about the world, especially against the white man.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Why did you crackers out there? You ruined my life.
I mean, in no uncertain terms, pretty much that's kind of the thread that runs through.
Exactly. It's a feeling of resentment.
There is. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I mean, I can see what they went through.
I've seen the preview for the film.
I know you weren't too keen.
Yeah, and Denzel's there.
For 20 years, I had to go through this shit.
And Viola Davis says, "I know, I had to go through it with you.
I've been standing with you, yeah.
I've been standing with you, man.
That's a powerful scene.
I can't even watch the film because of that. It's just, it looks so depressing and so miserable. But listen, life is a shit sandwich, and they're taking away the bread sometimes. So.
I'll tell you this about this movie is that you're not going to feel as depressed leaving the theater as you did after what's it called?
Spotlight.
No, I'm talking what's it called that we just discussed? Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, Manchester
You
by the
felt
Sea.
kind of depressed after that. This is not one
Well,
of those
yeah, yeah.
movies.
Okay.
Um,
It's an uplifting kind of thing.
I'm not going to go that far, but the movie is about.
Look at all these films we have.
I know.
do
It's
tonight,
well.
so I
I'm
want
trying
you
to do my review. You keep
Okay.
interrupting.
Well, finish it.
This movie has life lessons in it. This is a astounding film in terms of the acting.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was very good. I kept thinking during the film of A Bronx Tale. It reminded me of A Bronx Tale in many ways.
Okay.
The way that there's this father to son relationship. He's really trying to instill things in his kid.
Yeah.
His approach might not be the greatest in terms of being like a disciplinarian, but anyway.
But that was his uncle of course, in a Bronx Tale.
No. De Niro played the father, and Chaz Palminteri was just a mob guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. But
Yeah.
he was the guy who raised the kid, Chaz Palminteri.
No. De Niro, he lived in the house with the parents.
Oh, he did? Oh,
No,
okay.
he just worked a lot for the mobster in the Bronx Tale.
Oh, okay.
And he looked up to him.
Okay.
And the mobster looked to him like a son.
All right.
This film, though, it's an acting film. It's a performance film. I thought it was very, very good.
Okay.
I thought it was a little long. I'll give it that. I felt it could have cut like 20 minutes. I was definitely feeling the length towards the end of it.
Like I'm feeling on this review.
Please,
Because
you
look, it's
drone on.
7:37 right now. We got to move on, man.
You
we got,
drone
we
on
got
your
20
reviews.
fucking movies to
And by the way,
review.
the first 2 minutes we were talking, because I've really only been talking for 3 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, of course
How
I have.
come?
Because we talked the first 3. Now we're wasting time.
Now we are.
Will you let me do my review?
Okay, well, you're
I don't
done.
ever
Think you're finished.
rush
Okay, go
your
ahead.
reviews
Oh,
along.
no, it's fine. Go ahead.
Quiet. Anyway, Fences. It's a 4-star film. It's going to be.
Really?
You're going to hear about it come Oscar time.
Oh, no, please.
It's going to be. I would imagine some performances I think are going to be highlighted. I think you're going to see nominations for the two of them.
I'm sure.
Denzel's great. In my opinion, is one of his best.
Do you think he's going to beat out Casey
Uh,
Affleck for
well,
Manchester
I
by
think
the
Casey's
Sea?
still going to get it, but I definitely see Denzel getting a nod.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to stand out as one of his top performances.
All right.
I really do think
All right, good enough.
he's that good in it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he's excellent.
All right.
So if you're a Denzel fan, you're going to love it. If you don't want to see it, don't see it.
Jackie. That's right, Jackie. Natalie Portman.
You have 5 minutes for this.
As the brilliant, not brilliant, but
performance is
Jackie,
brilliant?
yeah, she really is wonderful in this movie. Jackie is the story of Jackie Kennedy. This film takes place, notice how concise and eruditeful I am as I speak, and I give the wonderful folks out there my brilliant review. But here we go.
You're so full of shit.
Oh,
You
you're
are
full
so
of shit.
full of
You're
shit.
so full of shit, you stink.
You are.
Yeah, your teeth are
You
floating
so are.
in a bowl. Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
continue.
right. Okay. Anyway, Jackie is a very gloomy film. In fact, Jackie is about Jackie Kennedy from the time a little bit before. It's basically her White House years. From the time that she enters the White House, they're very much concentrating on the assassination, before the assassination and after the assassination. She is being interviewed at the very beginning of the film. So the film is a series of flashbacks as we go through her life. For me, this film was a very dark film. Not just in the content of the film. It's Natalie gives a haunting performance for me, and Jackie Kennedy was a very enigmatic woman. We never really got to see who she was, so to speak. She was so refined and so dignified at all times. She never let her guard down. It wasn't like Michelle Obama, who just talks to the people like she's one of us, because she is. Jackie Kennedy always maintained that Kennedy elitist kind of world that she personified, and we never really got to see the real her. And she was a very bright human being. And a lot of the things in this film, obviously, there's hearsay that, sometimes I don't often like that when characters are talking and we don't really know where that dialogue came from, so to speak. We're just assuming that the parties are dead. So we have to assume that a lot of the actual dialogue in this movie is taken, it's kind of artistic license that they're using it quite a bit in just referencing what she says at certain times during certain scenes. This is an assassination film. We see the assassination
Well, that's
vividly.
good. I was hoping we'd see that.
Well, we do, and there is one particular graphic scene, and I'm going to warn all of you about this. If you should go see this film, but there is a scene where John F. Kennedy's head is laying in her lap while they're driving off to Texas Memorial Hospital. And I'll tell you something, it was so
Pretty gruesome,
It
huh?
was gruesome as I've ever seen in anything.
Yeah.
And I almost thought it was unnecessary. It's towards the end of the film.
Okay.
But this is a film about choices that she had to make and the backlog.
Cementing
the
his
true,
legacy, basically, right?
Not
Is what I've
cementing
heard the
his
film is
legacy.
about.
No, no. This is about her legacy. This is the film about her. And Natalie captures her so magnificently. And as I say, I mean, I grew up with this assassination. I was alive when it happened. And it was a horrifying thing. And I felt myself very, very moved. Not moved, but just the memory of it was so devastating and so right on.
So you kind of relived it.
I had to relive it for those 2 hours. I had to relive this for this hour and 47 minutes. I had to relive that assassination and that time in our history's life, and it was a very unpleasant time. Did I like this film? I did like this film. I think Natalie Portman is brilliant in it. I will say this: the man who plays JFK in this film is a dead ringer. No pun intended.
Yeah. Who was it?
He is I don't
I'll
know
look
who
him
he
up.
is. He looks so much like, he's obviously an actor. He's never been used before. This man looks so much like John F. Kennedy, except he's very small in stature.
Yeah.
He has a very, there's a very famous photograph of John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy as they're walking way near the Rose Garden in the White House. They're walking down a kind of like a corridor that's bordered by
Wow,
the
he
outside
does look like
garden.
him. Casper
Oh
Philipson.
my God, this guy,
He's been in
oh
some-
my God, just seeing him. But he's such a scrawny little guy that, when he's dancing with Natalie Portman, they should have given him some shoulder pads and they should have given him some lifts. But regardless, this film is a great depiction.
He was
a lot
in
of
Mulholland
love.
Drive.
Was he?
No, I'm kidding. He wasn't.
A lot of love went into the making of this film, and I have to recommend it highly.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
One thing
It
I
looks
do want
good.
to say about this film, very briefly, and I'll be done with it, is that the color of this movie, I thought something was off. I just purchased a new television recently, and I find myself wanting to adjust no matter what I'm watching. I just find myself, my brain just keeps going to my remote, and
Okay.
my heart kept wanting to go to my popcorn, my
Oh, yeah,
Milk
and
Duds
adjust it, yeah.
container, and adjust the color on this film. It wasn't the color. There was like a deep, dark shadow that the screen seemed to be in while I was watching it. And then I realized, hey, I'm watching this on a movie screen. I'm watching the actual negative of the print of this film, be it a digital or
Yeah.
whatever. It's obviously digital these days. That's how we see movies in theaters. But it was so dark, and the colors were like repressed and so forth. They also intersperse a lot of actual footage of Mrs. Kennedy, and during the funeral procession, as a matter of fact, which she wanted to emulate the actual, right after the assassination of Lincoln, they
Yeah.
took this procession up
All
to
over,
the
yeah.
Capitol building, and then they walked back to the church and so forth. Or no, actually, John F. Kennedy's body was held in the Capitol building. It's a great piece of work. Don't go see this as a double feature with Manchester by the Sea, because you will want to jump off a cliff. But still, at the same time, I have to recommend this film. And Natalie Portman probably will win the Oscar for this.
I would think that's
I
a
think
good bet.
so.
Yeah.
She's
Just from the clips I've seen.
phenomenal. She's phenomenal in this movie.
You know, she's almost becoming like, not that I'm going to say she's Daniel Day-Lewis, but in terms of, she works infrequently, and when she does, she seems to make
She
these
gives it her
kind of
all.
hallmark performances.
Very true.
You know?
She's a brilliant
Yeah.
actress. I loved her in V for Vendetta.
Yeah, she's great. I
She's
love that
just
film.
magnificent. Black Swan,
Black Swan, of
Aronofsky,
course.
what a great film. He's dating Jennifer Lawrence now, Aronofsky.
Really?
They've been a couple now for
Really?
6-7 months to a year.
Wow.
Yeah,
He gets
This
them
is
all,
true.
doesn't he?
he does indeed.
He was with well, who was he with before that? Somebody else noteworthy.
I
I
don't
forget
know.
who it was.
Listen, he's a director. He can have whoever he wants. He could have
Yeah.
you bending over a
Yeah, I
couch.
wouldn't
You
go
know what
that
I'm
far.
saying? In a casting scenario. Let's move on. Jackie was a great film.
Okay, I'm glad
it
you
wasn't a
liked it.
great film, but it's a great performance.
Performance film, right?
It's a performance film, but it's also it's a little time capsule, almost a time capsule that we don't want to see, don't need to see, but to see it is to appreciate it.
Well, you know, as a culture, we're fascinated with the
I leave
Kennedys
you with that.
and the assassination.
I leave you with
so
that.
it's always going to be something that we're always going to go back to.
Passengers.
Hey, how do you know I'm not done? How do you know I'm done?
Because I just finished Jackie. Now,
Yeah, but I might want to add some thoughts.
well, listen, man. I think you should. Well, okay, add some thoughts.
No, at
What
this
else do you
point,
have
no,
to say?
it's fleeting. At
It's
this
a
point.
moot point.
Whatever.
It's a moot point. He doesn't want to add
Whatever.
anything.
Anyway, all right, Passengers. Yes, I went and saw Passengers. Actually, it's a double feature with Fences, which is kind of a
Oh.
weird combo.
Mm.
It's okay. All right.
So you saw Passengers.
yes.
This is the new Jennifer Lawrence film
Brad
with
Pitt.
Christopher Pratt.
What did I say? Brad
said
Pitt?
Brad
Yeah,
Pitt.
Chris, of course.
What the hell
Chris
is
Pratt-
going on
Chris
here?
Pratt. You threw me off.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need a new co-host.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt was not in Passengers.
You threw me off when he said Christopher, and my mind, for some reason,
Christopher
said
Pratt.
it's Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
He goes by
Christopher.
Chris Pratt.
So you go by Christopher Pickens.
No,
Picard.
as an actor, I'm Christopher Picard. For this, it's Chris Picard.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But no, but he's never been.
Okay.
He's never been billed as Christopher Pratt.
Okay.
It throws it off. It doesn't
All
even
right,
sound right.
All right.
Anyway,
So let's move on.
shut up. We've all seen the trailer for Passengers. Two
Yeah.
people lost on a spaceship that's supposed to be a new colonization of another planet. Everybody's in hypersleep. One of the pods opens early. That's Chris Pratt. Eventually, he's alone. He's bored. He wants to wake somebody up. He wakes up Jennifer Lawrence. So that's the premise.
I would wake up Jennifer Lawrence too if I was
think
bored.
anybody would.
I think
Yeah.
anybody with a certain sense of,
So
you
this
know what
is-
I'm saying, folks?
This was.
Yeah, try some of this, you
Yeah,
little
I'm
worms.
sure they're already partaking to watch our show.
I'm sure they are.
This was a.
Yeah, they're probably dropping acid, man, right now.
All right, can I do my review real quick?
Okay.
All right, so
Go ahead.
that's the premise. I love sci-fi, and I like the concept of this film. Although we've seen this kind of a movie many times before.
As in,
The ship in deep space. So it reminded me of Event Horizon. Remember Event Horizon?
sort of.
1997.
Wasn't
Paul
that-
W.S. Anderson film. It was actually a really good horror film.
Now wait, wasn't
Sam
that
Neill.
Sam Neill and okay, that wasn't the one with
That also had Lawrence Fishburne, ironically enough.
that wasn't the one with what's his name? Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne
Yeah,
and
I like that film.
no, which was the one with Dennis Quaid?
That's
they're giving-
Pandorum. That's a great
No,
one too.
no.
Dennis Quaid was Pandorum when they wake up. Yes,
No,
that's Pandorum.
there was
Also,
another
Ben
film.
Foster is in there.
What's the movie where one of them is given birth and one guy has to give birth?
You're thinking of Enemy Mine?
Yeah, Enemy
That's
Mine.
that's
I
not
hated
a,
that film.
Yeah, but that's not a film where they're
Oh,
in a
that was
spaceship
horrible.
the whole time.
No, they landed though.
Yeah,
and
that
they-
movie's disturbing because you get to see
and
Louis
one
Gossett
guy-
Jr. as an
yeah,
alien
Louis
give
Gossett
birth.
Jr., he's gonna give birth.
And he's got these
Oh.
weird lips and he does this
No.
weird, like, sound. It's
Yeah,
horrifying.
and he's got the little speckles on his
Yeah,
face.
that-
yeah.
that-
Who was the
very-
guy in that movie with him? Dennis Quaid.
No, it's Dennis Quaid and Chappie. What's his name? Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Dennis Quaid. You said no, that's Pandora. No, he was in Enemy
Yeah, but I
Mine.
thought you were referencing Pandorum.
No, I wasn't.
Because Enemy Mine has nothing to do with
All right.
a spaceship film.
Enough.
You were wrong
We've
on that.
accomplished.
That was
no,
a-
I wasn't wrong.
Yes,
I
you
was
were.
talking about Enemy Mine, not Pandora. I
Yeah,
like
but
Pandora.
no, but Pandorum is a movie where they're on a ship for
Yes,
the whole thing.
I realize
The
that.
Enemy Mine is nothing like that.
Yeah, but Enemy Mine was so disturbing. I just wanted to mention it.
Okay, but it has no relation to Passengers in any way, other than in your mind.
There's an old woman. She's sitting in a park. She suddenly yells out, "Rape! Rape!" A cop runs over to her. He says, "Madam, what's wrong? Are you being raped?" She says, "No, it was 30 years ago, but I just like to talk about it once in a while."
Oh, okay, good.
So that's the exact same thing.
that was a great anecdote. Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate that.
So,
Anyway,
Enemy
so, yeah,
Mine.
so-
That movie was so disturbing to me. I don't want to see
Yeah,
Lou
I mean,
Gossett
it left
Jr.
an
give birth.
impression on me as a kid too.
I know, and he had
Yeah.
just done, Officer and a Gentleman. I think he won an Oscar for that.
He did,
film.
and then he
Yeah.
asked for too much money and his career tanked.
Yeah, he screwed
He
up,
got
buddy.
stuck in,
yeah.
like,
just
action
like George
films.
Lazenby, who was James Bond in On Her Majesty's
I know,
Secret
too
Service.
much.
He
We
asked for $1
covered that in
million
this show as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so anyway, Passengers. I went into the movie wanting to like it. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I
Okay.
said, you know what, I'm going to see it anyway. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't really let the reviews deter me,
Good for you.
Um,
Well, you are a reviewer.
yes, exactly.
That's what we're here for, is
I
to
agree.
review
I agree.
film. We love film.
But there are
don't
people
we?
that
Don't
that I
we
know
love
that
film?
probably we worship film.
By the way, I want to say one thing about Mr. Picard.
There we go.
There are many people, but I swear to God, no, I'm going to say something so nice that you're going to be blown away.
Oh, okay.
I would not want to do this show with anybody but you,
And I wouldn't want to do it with anybody but you.
and that is that's a fact.
Aren't we sweet?
Aren't we wonderful to each other?
That
It's
was
the end
our-
of the year, but it's the truth.
That was our moment.
He's a great guy.
I agree.
I love this human being.
I do
He's
too.
been my
He's a
friend
good-
for 10 years. I
more
love him
than
dearly.
that.
Well, it
Well,
seems,
I'd say
seems
11.
like a lot longer.
Yeah, because every minute is 4 hours. so
Every
it's
minute
nice.
goes forever.
It does. Anyway,
But seriously,
but the Passengers.
You're a
Thank
great
you.
guy.
I appreciate
Just
it.
want to tell you.
It's a great show. Our show.
Well, we love it.
we love
Nobody
it.
else does.
No, honestly, like I said to you, I was getting really nice comments over Christmas.
Okay.
I was.
I'm tickling the face of that little guy behind me. Sam?
And the witch is liking it.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, she just made a mess all over the chair behind
Oh,
you.
she did?
Yeah,
Oh,
because you
heavens.
tickled her too much.
That's actually the Wicked Witch of the West back there.
Oh, she's
I know.
horrible.
Actually, the Wicked Witch of the East. No, that's the West. That's, what's her name?
Yeah, the East I thought was a nice one.
Margaret, Margaret, what's her name?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, back to my review of Passengers.
Did you like this film?
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Okay.
I thought it was one of these movies that had a great first act,
Yeah.
a decent second act that once the third act came into play, the big ending, I felt that the movie
It had all been done before.
yes, it came very
You've seen it all.
yeah, it's very well. No, here's the thing. I felt that they relied too much on convention at that point.
Oh, okay.
Everything was very formulaic towards the end. You knew what was going to happen,
Right.
and that was
Here,
a
take the
little
mic.
unfortunate.
Okay.
The very ending, I don't know. I felt a little
If
unsatisfied.
you're not going to talk into it, give it back
yeah, I
to
don't
me.
need it. I could just do this, you know. That we do have a
No,
microphone.
We
No.
do have a mic.
But
Yeah.
honestly, I would say it's worth checking out if you go to a matinee. It's a big screen movie. That's the thing. It's a beautiful looking film.
Did you see it in 3D?
No, I did standard. I hate 3D. I hate it.
You hate 3D.
I hate it. It's not necessary. It's the only time that I felt okay. They put it to good use.
But
was
here's
Avatar.
3D. Pooh.
Yes, Avatar.
I wish you wouldn't have put your hand up. I wouldn't have hit your hand. I was just going
It
to go
didn't hurt.
like that.
Oh, you want to do a fake one?
Yeah, I was
Try
going to do a
again.
fake
Ready?
one.
Ready?
Okay, you like 3D, buddy?
Yeah. Oh!
All right,
was
that's
pretty good.
3D.
Uh,
Okay.
delay reaction on that one. Telegraph.
Wow.
So yes. I don't know. 2.5 stars.
Really?
Well, you know, here's the thing. The chemistry was great between them. I thought they did a good job.
Okay.
I thought there was a lot of fun moments. Michael Sheen is
I
in
know.
it.
He's
Who
in
plays the
it.
robotic
He's-
bartender?
He's the bartender
was
with
fun.
the
Robo
ex
Legs,
machina.
yeah, he was
yeah.
he was fun in the film.
Okay.
Lawrence Fishburne pops up. Actually, he's
Really?
good in it. Yeah, and then you see Andy Garcia for about 4 seconds. He's in it
Okay.
for 4 seconds. So
Let me ask you this.
overall,
Th-
yes.
This is what it seems to me. This is a love story kind of film. It looks like one
yeah.
of those boy gets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl again at the end. End of film.
pretty much.
That's it, folks.
Pretty much. There's some a little different things to it, but obviously, pretty much that's the deal.
Yeah,
Um,
that's always the deal.
yeah, you know, and that's the thing that was disappointing is because they set up such a fun premise.
Yeah.
You know.
It looked beautifully
Yeah,
filmed,
you know,
too.
and this was one of those movies that was on the blacklist, which is the best screenplays that weren't produced of
Oh.
like 2 years ago.
Oh.
And so it got made. And I just felt, you know what, you guys could have done something a little bit different toward that ending.
Okay.
Must we always have to have an ending that's verging on calamity? You know, why can't we do something a little different? But
Well,
that's the world we live
well,
in.
we have
and
to create,
we don't-
friction within
well,
our fiction.
we can still have drama that's not something we've seen 1,000 times before.
Well, there you go.
but
But it was done with Jennifer.
It was, and it-
Lawrence
it was-
Christopher Pratt.
it's fun to see because of the two of them.
Chris Pratt,
Yes,
I mean.
because of the two of them, they were very good in it. And they're going to be the draw. But unfortunately, this movie is stumbling at the box office. Really not.
No,
doing
it
well.
looks like it is.
Yeah.
It looks like it is.
So you could wait to see it at home. If you have a nice big TV like this, this is fine.
It's a nice TV over there.
Yeah.
You can't see it, folks.
should be
but there's a
fine.
nice TV there.
There is a nice big. I mean, literally, it's almost half your wall.
It is half my
Yeah.
wall. Well, it's more than half the wall. It's more than half the wall.
Well,
Pretty
I don't know
close.
about that.
It's pretty huge. But
maybe.
anyway, that's regardless.
Yeah.
You
Anyway,
people can't see that, so
anyway.
it's not important.
Passengers, it's okay.
And now,
Assassin's Creed.
I don't know why you went to see it. Well, I
I
know why,
went to
because
see it-
Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender.
If he wasn't in it, I would never watch
love
it.
Michael Fassbender.
As
I
do
think
I.
he is one of the great actors of our time.
Of his generation,
He
I
is
agree.
now Daniel Day-Lewis Jr., in my humble opinion. He has taken over that threshold of upper echelon roles. He can play anything.
He really does.
He really can. He X-Men. You know, I like the fact that he does the X-Men films, but I also don't like the fact that he does the X-Men.
Well, it allows
films.
him to do the small movies like
True.
The Light Between Oceans. You know,
There you go.
Gives him the
It
financial
wasn't really
freedom.
a small movie. But
I'm sure budgetary
That
was.
other film that just that I mentioned last week that is now going to come into fruition, and they're asking, please accept this film as a possible nomination thing. I mentioned it to you, but I thought I had already seen it. It was a Western, but it was
The
not
one.
a-
Yeah, I know the one you're talking
Anyway,
about.
it's not. Regardless, here, let's talk about Assassin's Creed. This is a movie that
You got to state that
unfortunately
it's based on a video game.
it is basically. It is well, no, not basically. It is based on a video game.
Never played by
It
me.
seems like I have played the game.
I heard it's fun, actually.
It is fun. I played the game though in the 17th century, like the Revolutionary War kind of thing. This is set back in like the 15th century.
It's the Inquisition, right?
The
From what I
Inquisition,
understand.
precisely. I will say this: it does have a Prince of Persia. There's a lot of sand in this movie.
Is there?
Yeah, you're kind of choking. As
Yeah,
you
Prince of Persia, yeah.
you're sitting.
Doesn't seem
choking.
like it fits.
Marianne Cotillard, however,
Right,
is in
she's
this
great.
film. One cool thing about this movie,
Love
I
her.
will say, this is an Avatar film.
I know, because it's in the future, and then
Precisely.
They go back.
We're
Yeah.
set in the future. Michael Fassbender is basically hanging off a thing. They have to insert this thing up his neck, into the back of his head, and it takes him back into years. And they're trying to. This film really makes no sense. The whole premise is that Marianne Cotillard and her father, played by Jeremy Irons, and I saw Jeremy Irons at JFK. Here's a very brief story for you. I used to be a limousine driver. I see Jeremy Irons at JFK. I'm there holding up a sign for some.
You told this story on air, by the
I've
way.
told.
already.
Have I told
Yes.
it already?
We've already
I
told this
didn't know
story.
I
Yeah.
did.
I don't remember what
But anyway,
episode.
Jeremy Irons is. I see him way in the back, and he's and I'm holding up a sign, and I see Jeremy Irons back there, so I'm waving, "Hi, Jeremy, hi, Jeremy," and he goes like this. He goes, "Are you for me? Are you for me?" Meaning, are you my driver?
Yeah.
But no, and Jeremy Irons is the spitting image of Boris Karloff. If you know who Boris Karloff is, maybe from he played Frankenstein in 1933. But I'll tell you something, he really looks just like him. He's got that same square kind of head that he has. Regardless of that, Jeremy Irons is in Assassin's Creed. He plays Marianne Cotillard's father. This is now the second or third film that Marianne has made with Michael Fassbender. I know she did Hamlet, and I think she may have done one more previous, but I could be wrong. But
Definitely those two.
definitely those two. I know she's a huge fan of his. She spoke so highly of him on one of the talk shows. She just said, "Oh, we all learned so much from him on Hamlet," and I think there's a little thing going on.
Well, everybody
You
was
know what I mean?
speculating that they were doing something.
Yeah,
now.
but they should be doing something, even though she's married and has a child. But
And he's got Alicia
regardless.
Vikander now on his arm. You know.
Who?
I told you he's dating Alicia Vikander
Oh, is he?
from Ex Machina. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I
And
told-
also from By
Like
the
the
Light
Three
of
Oceans.
the...
Yeah, I
Oh,
told
how
you
do you
that,
like that? Well, that's
yeah,
very
it's a
cool.
good catch.
Anyway, he's wonderful in this movie. He raises the stature. I think because he was attached to this film, that maybe more of
I
a
agree,
budget.
Yeah.
You know, when a big star is attached to a movie, I always remember Mel Gibson saying that as soon as he went on to a film, it could no longer be a little independent film anymore.
true.
So many people of great stature, new screenwriters would come in, new gaffers, new butt boys, new this boy, that
Everything.
boy. Everybody would come in and just start making and bring the film into a new budget world. But Assassin's Creed has its moments. But anyway,
Is it a must see for the theater?
no,
right? Of
well,
course
in
not.
the theater, if you are going to see this film,
Yeah.
it will look good in a theater mode. There's no question. It was in 3D. I did enjoy it. It went on a little bit too long. I actually had they made a mistake at my theater that I went to see this. They said that the film was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So when it ended at approximately an hour and 45 minutes, I was like, "What? That's it? Wait, where's the extra half hour I'm supposed to get
Yeah,
out
how
of
could
it?"
a video game movie be that long? You know, I'd be surprised.
Well, it could have been that long very easily. I mean, they really it was really quite cool in a way. They had some things that were kind of neat and well done. You know, his father had actually earlier in his young life when he was a boy, his father actually killed his mother. So he kind of wanted to. He's now in this environment. This it's basically an asylum
Yeah.
where he is, and they're using him as an experimental prodigy to do this avatar type
Okay.
experiment where he is now put on this mechanical device, and they send him back into yesteryear. The one thing I hated about this, however, was the fact that they kept cutting back and forth. As you'd see him fighting guys in the
Yeah.
back, they would cut to the present moment where he's
Yeah.
on this machine, you know, hitting imaginary people with an imaginary sword.
I see.
So it kind of sucked in a big way, but at the same time, it was kind of fun because of Michael Fassbender. He has such a serious face, and he's such a serious actor, and he brings credence to everything he does. Therefore, Assassin's Credence,
Yes.
done by Michael Fassbender.
I don't know
That's
how.
right.
I don't remember how it's doing in the box office. I don't know if we're going to see more.
I
of
don't
these
think it's doing
films.
too good. There's definitely room for a sequel. They kind of
I'm
abruptly
sure.
ended it and so forth.
It's one of those movies that could easily have a franchise without having to rely on the same actor.
I agree.
The next one could be somebody else.
Absolutely.
Or whatever, you know?
So, and that probably
Just like
is
the
what's going
Hitman
to happen.
series, the same thing. New
Correct.
actor, they can do that easily.
I'm going to fling right in. I'm going to say yes. You can go see Assassin's Creed if you're so a disciple of the video game, etc., and so forth. But not a necessity. Not a film that's going to make or break your holiday season here. However, speaking of the holiday season on our little list here, is The Office Christmas
Yeah, I've
Party.
been wanting to see this one. I'm glad you saw
You
it.
know, I did go see this film. You know, it's got T.J. Hooker in it. I like
T.J. Miller,
T.J. Miller, sorry.
And Jason
Yeah,
Bateman.
T.J. Hooker was, of course, the old William
Jason
Shatner.
Bateman. It's
Jason Bateman's in it.
Jennifer
Jennifer Aniston is in it.
and a handful of other people too.
And a handful of other people too. Kate McKinnon from
Of
Saturday
course, she's
Night
got a big
Live
part,
has a
yeah.
big part in this film. Has a lot of folks from a lot of NBC
SNL,
films. It
that
almost
kind
seems
of
like a
thing.
Lorne Michaels production. This
Yeah.
movie. Jennifer Aniston plays the bad guy. She's the
Horrible Boss's reunion.
horrible
basically,
boss, basically reunion. Her little brother is T.J. Miller, who
okay.
is today's Belushi, in my humble opinion. T.J.
You could
Miller,
say that,
he's
yeah.
kind of gone into that kind of crazed
Yeah.
world, that wacky kind of guy, and I like that. I do like that. They're trying to seduce a specific. Their company is going downhill. Jennifer wants to close the company. They want to throw one big bash to try and seduce this investor to come
exactly.
in to do it. They show this commercial where you see this guy go flinging on this thing, and he falls and smacks his head on a file cabinet, and it looks so believably
Really?
gruesome and horrible. If you've seen the clip for this movie, it is just god awful. It looks like some poor stuntman literally died or broke his neck during the making of that shot. I don't know how they could have faked it unless it was all done in slow motion of wires, and then they sped up the film,
Yeah,
which is how they do all that
Probably
kind of
did that,
crap.
yeah.
But I'll tell you, this movie, it had its moments. It was kind of fun. When you call a movie Office Christmas Party, you're kind of trying to maintain a level of hilarity that is almost impossible to do. So therefore, the film it almost has to fail by all sense of purpose. There are funny moments in this movie. It's a great little movie, possibly, you got the folks over, you're sitting there at 9 o'clock at night, or, it comes on Cinemax at 3 a.m. and you just feel like watching something stupid. I love Jason Bateman, as a matter of fact. I think he's wonderful.
I like him too.
Everything that he's in, he just brings a certain sense
great.
of warmth and intelligence. He's a very underrated actor.
He's very much a less is more kind of a guy.
He really is,
Yeah.
and he really accomplishes
Yeah.
everything that he sets out to do in such a simplistic
Yeah.
way that it's almost amazing.
And he's a good dramatic actor. There were two good
He's
dramatic films
excellent.
he did.
Yeah.
Did you see The Gift? With
The new one,
yeah,
where the
with
guy
Joel
comes
Edgerton
back
writing
from,
and directing. That was a great film.
Yeah, no, that was an
I really
okay
was
film.
surprised
I
how
didn't
much I
love that
liked
movie,
it.
but he was good in it.
It was a familiar
He was the
territory, but I liked it.
terrorized,
Yeah,
terrorized guy,
the creepy friend,
creepy
from the
friend
past.
from the past who comes up to
And then he also did
intimidate
a
him.
really good movie, all about. It's called Disconnect.
Let's
Did
not
you see that
forget
one?
Arrested Development. He was
Oh,
on
of
that
course.
show,
I
which
mean, that was his
half
big
drama,
break
half comedy.
in terms of adult
in terms
career,
of- Correct.
But did you see Disconnect? That was a good little drama.
I do remember
was
Disconnect.
all
that
about-
was also Jennifer Aniston, was it not?
I don't think
No,
so.
or that was Trainwreck.
But it
or-
had a
no,
big
no,
cast.
another Train,
I believe there was a budget.
think
It
it
was one of
was.
those movies, a lot of big names in it.
well, while I'm doing the review, why don't you look at
Yeah,
that?
and it was all about how we're all so intertwined with technology.
Oh, okay.
I almost feel like Adam Sandler was in it too, like in a dramatic performance. But I don't know if that's right.
That's possible.
But it was a really good film.
Anyway, Christmas Party is kind of worth your seeing, I have to say. If you just feel like going to see something, if you got, 15 bucks to blow, and you want to go to the movies and go see something
Oh yeah,
silly
Frank Grillo.
silly and mindless like this film, because it is silly and mindless. And I actually have to say, I kind of laughed a few times, and I laughed a lot. I mean, not just a few times, but
You
I
know
laughed.
what?
I laughed hard. I'm going to say a good, and I'm kind of an easy crowd. I like to laugh, so something even that's not so funny to other people
Yeah.
will make me laugh. But then again, things that are meant to be funny don't make me laugh, because I'm expecting it, and I've practically pre-written the joke in my head that's
Mhm.
coming. So very often I'm turned off by these kind of movies. I did like Jennifer Aniston's performance. She actually turns into a ninja warrior later on in the
Oh,
film, which
interesting. I
is
didn't
so
expect that.
cool. I loved it.
I think she's good, and I think people give
Yeah.
her a bad rap. I think she
well,
gets
she's
a
sitcom.
lot of people pick
She's
on
a-
her,
she's
and
a
I
sitcom
always
brain.
liked her.
She's a sitcom lady, and
like her.
and she basically, she only did one really serious film, and she was nominated for an Oscar
Cake,
for
correct?
that film. Yeah, it was Cake.
Was
she
it
also-
The
no,
Good
no.
Girl?
Good Girl
That
was
was a
the
good
first
film.
one she
Yeah,
did, right?
yeah.
And then she
With
did
Jake
Cake.
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
And Cake was good
Cake
also.
was like 3-4 years ago. Yeah.
Exactly. And but Good Girl was
It's a
great.
good film, yeah.
She worked at a Walmart kind of thing.
Kind
or
of thing,
Kmart.
miserable. Married to John C. Riley. He's kind of a.
I'm
a
telling
putz.
you, yeah.
It's a good
when she
film.
does drama, she's very
She's
good,
good,
and she
yeah.
generally gets nominated. She just likes to do the comedies. I think she's comfortable there. She
Yeah,
doesn't.
exactly.
She doesn't take any chances. That's the one thing that does irritate me about her. She, on a career basis, that is, she doesn't do enough drama, and I think she really could. I think she stays in the safe
Yeah.
limits. She just works with people that she's comfortable with. You know, how many movies has she made with Jason Bateman now? My God, it's got to be 6 or 7. I kid you not.
Probably.
It's either
4.
him or Ben Stiller or whatever other guy.
Gerard Butler, that weird one where she was handcuffed him the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
a bounty hunter. I didn't bother
that
seeing
wasn't a
that one.
horrible film, but it wasn't great either. But anyway, regardless,
Anyway,
it was a
glad
fun
you went
little
and saw
movie.
it.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. But is it worth going to see at the theater? The amount of money that we have to pay. If you can get in to see it free, by
can
all
see it on
means,
HBO,
go
you
see
know?
it.
Yeah.
It'll be on HBO in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So, well, not HBO in a year probably, but it'll be on your local on demand.
Take advantage of those discounts, guys. I do it all the time. You know what I paid to see 2 movies altogether?
What?
I only paid $9. I saw Matinee of Fences, which was $6 and change.
Yeah.
And then with the Tuesdays, AMC Stubs people
Okay.
get $5 off. And then I also had a $5 voucher on my
So
Stubs
you didn't just
card.
run from theater to theater?
No, I didn't do that.
Oh, I did that.
I did that in my youth, but I didn't do
No,
that
no,
today,
I did that to see Jackie.
You know why?
and-
Because I wanted to go out and get lunch in between, so I had
Okay.
to. I had
When
to
I
leave.
saw Office Christmas Party, I asked the girl because this is a 21 plex.
Yes.
So the worst thing about when you're sneaking from theater to theater is you have to actually know what
You
time.
talking
the
about
next...
Palisades?
Yeah.
Palisades is tough because they got those. They got those
No,
3.
it's a piece of cake.
Well, no, they have those 3 different areas, the
Well,
3
they have
different
3
wings.
different-
And if
yeah.
it's like a busy day and they got the 3 ticket people, it's tough to
No,
do.
they don't do
During
that
the
anymore.
week, it's fine.
No, they don't do that
Not even
anymore.
on the weekends?
No, not at all. They have one ticket guy. You walk in.
And then you're good.
I've
good.
actually, I hate to admit this, I've walked into the Palisades without a ticket. Very often, the guy's off talking
Doing
to
whatever,
somebody.
yeah.
You could just walk right in.
That's
Nobody
good.
even gives a damn. So anyway,
So-
I snuck from Office Christmas
I
Party.
see.
I went, oh my God, look at this. It's ending. And I knew this, of course
you did.
before I did this. I figured out that, hey, I've got literally about a minute and a half to run over to Jackie and catch Jackie. And that's just
Good
what
for
I
you.
did. And there was one seat left in the whole theater.
Great.
Where was it? Right in the middle.
Good
Perfect.
for you.
It was a very small theater,
That's
but I
nice.
walked in and there it was, ladies
See,
and gentlemen.
in my youth, I did 5 movies in a day and jumping through all of
Sometimes dishonesty pays.
them. It does.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, so when I went and see Passengers, it only ended up costing me $3, so that wasn't bad.
There you go.
So
Office Christmas
on
Party. Okay, we're gonna move on right now
to
too.
Nocturnal Animals again,
Nocturnal animals.
which I must say we covered a few weeks back, but
You covered
Daryl hadn't seen it.
Daryl had not. Now
I'll
Daryl has.
I'll do a quick recap. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a real.
Well, we'll talk about that at the end of
All right, all right,
discussing
go
it.
ahead.
Okay, this movie is about it's about a couple. They have divorced. Amy Adams, Jake Gyllenhaal. They are separate. He has sent her a manuscript at the beginning of this
This is like
film.
20 years later.
20 years later, precisely. She's going through a very nasty marriage right now. Her husband's cheating on her, played by that miserable Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer.
And I like Armie Hammer though. He does play a
He's
good
not
bad guy.
He plays a very good wasp.
He plays a good waspy little
Yeah.
schmuckwad,
Yeah.
which he basically did in Social Network, and
That's such a good movie.
that's
I
such a
love
great little
the
film.
Social
I do
Network.
too. David Fincher, and of course, and I
To
even
make
love,
that movie as riveting as it was,
I
that's
love
amazing.
little Jesse Eisenberg in that film. I think that's
He's
a
good in that.
perfect role for him. I like Jesse a lot. He gets a bad rap. He is in a movie we're not going to review tonight.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week we'll do that one, the new Woody Allen film,
Cafe Society.
Cafe Society. But anyway, regardless, let's get back to Nocturnal. This movie is very confusing.
It's 3
are
stories in one.
3 stories in
Yeah.
one, basically going on. One of the stories, the main story, is basically based on a work of fiction. You're not really sure if this is true or not. You have to kind of wait through the film before you find out what exactly
And
happens.
let's clarify that the story starts with the present day, 20 years after their marriage has ended.
Correct.
She's in this unhappy marriage. She suddenly receives a package in the mail, which is a manuscript of a
I
book.
just said all that.
I don't think you said those details. There
I
was
did.
that he sent her a book. I don't
I
think you
said he sent her a manuscript, which she is now sitting down to read. And I said this.
How did I
work
miss
of-
that?
I'm sitting right here, dude. Maybe you're smoking this imaginary
I
joint.
don't know.
Man.
I don't
You
know how I
better
missed
lay
that.
off of the
Maybe
imaginary
my mind
weed.
wandered for a second.
Maybe it did.
But anyway, so she starts reading the book. She starts reading the book.
I woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my
Okay,
hand.
thanks, Beatles man.
Thank you. But anyway, so don't know how to smoke. Suddenly I spoke and I went into a dream. Little Sergeant Pepper for you there. Just like you went into a dream, man.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway, regardless of that fact, and thank you for the Sergeant Pepper appreciation fans out there.
That one guy.
You stoners, you know who you are. But anyway, regardless, Nocturnal Animals is a very confusing little movie, and I wasn't quite sure exactly what happened. And the only way I did know what happened is because I went into IMDb and I read the little synopsis thing because I wasn't sure what took place there. And I'm not even sure that the guy who explained the synopsis in the IMDb, I didn't even know if he got it right. I mean, you
See,
know.
I didn't have I didn't have any problems following the film. I just
But
was.
you realize that all, and I don't want to give anything away, but I am giving something away. But since you haven't seen the film, you don't know what I'm giving away. But I'm going to say something. The work of fiction in this film is strictly that, a work of
Of
fiction.
course, yeah. None of
But-
that actually happened.
Well, you don't know that though. You don't know that because there is the
I don't
woman
know. I didn't
who
think-
he was married to, namely Amy Adams. She's alive reading this, and she's murdered in this particular story that happens.
Yes.
Okay, she's murdered there. So
would-
I'm
well, I
thinking,
wouldn't have
wait
given
a
that away,
minute,
but-
is she alive or not alive? I didn't know.
But I see the way I looked at it is that everything that was in that work of fiction that he wrote, that he sent to her, was a metaphor
Well,
in
yeah,
a
but
way of their relationship.
listen, we're just schmucky movie watchers. When we're watching somebody being terrorized, and this whole centerpiece of this
It's very
film,
horrifying.
It
Yeah.
was horrifying. It was very rough to watch.
Yeah,
They're being
that guy was a son of a bitch.
yeah,
those three
Jake
guys.
Gyllenhaal and his wife and his daughter are in a car. They are being
Mhm.
terrorized by three men who end up abducting them, abducting
Yes.
his wife and his kid.
And really tormenting
We don't
them.
know, and I'm giving it away here to you folks, and I hate to do that, but that's a metaphor for something horrible that happened in the lives of
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal
Yes,
and
we
Amy
do learn
Adams.
something, yeah.
So you don't really know that that's all a metaphor. You believing, is this what happened? He's basing it on something that happened to him. That's actually said in the film once. So you're trying to think, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? Who am I really? And do I really care about anything? And yes, I cared enough to want to figure out what Nocturnal Animals was about because it was not obvious to me at
it's
all.
one of those movies that when it ends, you're kind of left to figure things out on your own.
And I don't like that kind
I'm
of
not a
movie.
big fan.
I don't like that kind of movie.
I kinda
want them to
feel
spell it
like-
out to me. If I invest 2 goddamn
Yeah.
hours in a film, at least tell me what the hell happened.
I don't want to say it's a cop out. I know it's an artistic choice to do that,
yeah.
but it's not my favorite
Yeah,
artistic
I don't
choice.
like that kind. It's bullshit. That's bullshit. Give us a break.
At least
Come on.
go as far as Inception, where the top is spinning and you can kind of interpret it one way or another.
There you go.
At least we have a little breadcrumb there,
We do.
So, but
Inception-
did you like it though? Did you like Nocturnal?
I thought it was well acted. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I'll watch that guy
Yeah.
in anything.
He's
I'll watch him fart jingle bells
fantastic,
and read
yeah.
the phone book at the same time. I just think the guy is so devoted to his acting career and experience that he wants to, he's like Tom Cruise, but he can really act. Where Tom Cruise just wants to be the best. He really wants to entertain you. I really feel that from Tom Cruise. He really
He's an
gives
entertainer.
his
He's not
all.
necessarily a thespian.
Well, he gives
But
his
I think
all.
he's a good actor. Though.
He's had his moments. Rain Man, he was nominated
No.
for an Oscar, and rightly so. He was
I
very good
think
in
he's
that
a good
film.
actor.
I
Jerry
think he's a
Maguire.
good
I mean, he's
actor,
done
too.
some good stuff.
He has indeed. But generally speaking, he's leaned now on the Mission Impossible
Yes.
and the action nonsense and the Jack Reacher things and so forth. But listen, Jake Gyllenhaal is he's a spectacular actor. He is a future Oscar winner. Once again,
Oh, of
we've
course.
talked about the film, the Devono film, Prisoners,
Yes.
which I adored and loved.
both
And
love it.
Jake is so
Another great one with
wonderful.
him is Nightcrawler, which is
Nightcrawler.
what a
He
horrifying little performance
Oh
he did
my
there.
God, that was
What a creep.
I'm telling you, he just
Yeah.
he just has the ability to
did.
completely submerge himself.
Yeah.
That movie he just
He's
did.
kind of a
where
chameleon.
He is a bit of one, and yet he always has the core. He's always that core Jake Gyllenhaal.
I want to see the one that kind of came and went recently.
I saw it.
Demolition. Right?
Yeah, I liked Demolition.
Yeah, I like the idea.
I
I
liked
like the
Demolition.
concept, yeah.
It was a good little movie. It was very strange and off the wall. He just is a guy. He's going through a divorce, and he just decides to just
Destroy his life to
destroy
rebuild
his
it.
life to rebuild it,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool. His wife dies very early in the
Yes,
film,
yes.
and it's a horrible death, and he now has to readjust,
yeah.
and and
As most
so
people would,
most
you know.
people, as I happen to have gone through that experience. But
Let me interject for a moment.
you may.
Given our time constraints, we might only have time for one of these. Do you want to?
I think we're okay. We can
because
do
I
two.
still want to do flashback. I don't want to
Alright.
give up that tonight.
Well, I'm gonna let's go for okay.
Yeah, please, 'cause you know how I feel
Nocturnal-
about that.
There you go. Nocturnal Animals it's
can
kind
wait
of a
till
hit
video,
and
right?
miss.
You think?
You're gonna be disappointed though because it's a hard flick to get into your brain scan and to make it all work, and you're gonna have that unfinished business in your mind. So I say stay away from Nocturnal.
And
I gotta
watch
tell
out
you.
for this film. Has the most bizarre opening credit sequence I've seen in a long time. Remember?
No,
Well, it was just like these obese women dancing. Remember that?
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
The whole
I
beginning
don't-
of the film was nothing but like naked obese women dancing.
Oh, really? Gosh,
Yeah.
where was I? I must have
Did
been
you walk in late?
making coffee or something. I don't know. Yeah, I probably, went to take a leak in my own house. I don't think I watched
Wow.
the opening credits, but
Yeah,
I'll have to go back and
check
rewatch.
it out. You gotta see it.
I don't know if
It's
I
very
want.
like Lynchian.
Maybe I don't want to see it. I don't know.
probably don't.
It's probably pretty.
Well, if you like
pretty,
sagging skin, it's up your alley.
Well, I do like. I like.
Robust,
I like heavy women.
robust cheeks.
I like them heavy. I want to, I want a woman who can, who can just, you have to slap her thigh and ride the wave in, that kind of woman.
Then this is right up your
I
alley.
like it, yeah. Well, right up her alley is what we're actually
Okay,
talking. But
so
that's
we're-
another story, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving right along here to Deep
Yes.
Water.
Horizon, that's right. Mark Wallenberg, Deepwater
Wahlberg.
Horizon.
And Kurt
Wallenberg,
Russell, Kate
Kurt
Hudson,
Russell, Kate Hudson,
John
there you
Malkovich
go.
in an excellent role. We covered this movie a few weeks back.
You did
But
cover
that
it.
episode is a lost episode. It disappeared
It's
off
one
of.
of our lost
Oh,
episodes.
yeah, so we're gonna
Underlined in
cover
red,
it again. I
parentheses.
thought this film was spectacular.
Really?
I had a lot of fun watching it.
Okay.
And you didn't like it, huh?
I didn't love this film. I got to tell you, it took exactly 49 minutes to get to the point
And
where
then that was the whole movie. Then
everything
after that, and then-
exposed.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's only another. There is another hour left of the film.
Yeah. So the whole second half of the film basically is the trauma. The
The
craziness.
first part is the building
Well, we need
up.
to
We
set
have
up-
character build
It gets
up.
very in depth into
Kurt,
how
Kurt
it happens.
Russell as Mr. Jimmy is good. John Malkovich is the
He's
guy.
great, I thought.
John Malkovich is excellent in this
He
film.
is.
He's the guy who skimps on the
Wahlberg
on the
could have been
materials.
replaced by anybody in this movie. Anybody
pretty
could have
much.
played that. There was
Yeah,
nothing
but I'm
there.
glad it was Mark in a way.
I like Mark, yeah.
He
But-
likes being the
yeah.
he likes being the hero.
It's typical hero.
It's typical, he's doing that new Boston, the
I
Patriot.
wanna see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks kind of interesting. Once again, it's a reenactment of something that happened in real life
course.
that I don't really think merits a film enactment of it.
Well,
I
you know
truly
why
don't.
they do it is
and
because
I
of the
felt
people
the
that
same
died.
way. Okay, there you
And
go.
well, here's why I feel that this movie in particular is important.
Deepwater Horizon.
Yes. Speaking of this movie, and why I think it's a good film and a good subject matter, because we have to hold corporations accountable for their mistakes, for their ineptitude, and for their greed. You have to give them their comeuppance, because otherwise this is going to just keep happening. It's a drop in the bucket for the money that they lose on the lawsuits and the cleanup.
Okay, that's fine and well.
You have to
but
shine a light on that.
At the same time, they're kind of almost romanticizing it by turning it into a film, by turning it into a piece of fiction that is now laden with special effects
Yeah, but this is
and
a piece of
performances.
not fiction. It's
So
a
I
docudrama.
understand that, but now in the memory of me, and not necessarily me so much, but it's now been enshrined in a fictionary way. I mean, obviously, every little thing that happens in this is not a documentary.
No, I know.
This
I'm
is
sure there's some creative license.
This
but
is a
the
creative
gist of it is
license
based
where
on
they
reality.
have taken a storyline that actually it's not a storyline. It's a piece of true documented tragedy
Yeah.
that happened on
Yeah.
our planet when this Deepwater Horizon, which is a station there out on the ocean that they're drilling for oil, and it basically just went afoul and
Yeah.
blew up.
2010 oil spill in Louisiana.
Precisely, and this was the not Chevron but the other
This
guys.
BP.
BP, right? It used to be Chevron, now they're BP.
If you
That
say
is
so.
correct.
I
There
don't
you
know
go.
the transition of
Doesn't matter.
corporate labels.
Anyway, so this whole thing blows up, and it kind
11
of
people died.
it presented itself as a big screen enactment
It did,
because
yeah.
of the explosion and so
course.
forth, and I find that to be a bit crass. I think that's kind of a low blow to the actual people who did die. To just oh wow, look at the fire, man. Look at
But
the
you could say that about
explosion.
any movie then
Look,
that
no, you
reenacts a
can't.
true thing.
But no, that's not true.
What about Perfect Storm? That was a tragedy that they sensationalized for a movie.
Well,
Incidentally, also starring Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, but I actually felt something in that.
I was on the edge of my seat in this movie.
Were you really?
I really thought this movie was harrowing. That whole sequence, when all that stuff was going down,
Yeah.
I was really feeling for these
Okay.
guys that were in there just trying to do their job. And
No, I
thought it was
understand.
exciting stuff.
I felt that it just
Good.
kind of it ended kind of half-assed. I mean, it ended as
It was
did.
abrupt, a little abrupt.
You know, everybody just kind of okay. The people who survived survived.
Yeah.
The people who died died. At
And then
the
they
end,
show you the recap with the
no,
real
they
people.
did have a
and
nice
the
little.
picture.
They had a nice little recap.
Where are they
at the
now
very
kind of
end
thing.
where, well, people were dead. They listed the
Yeah.
11 people.
No, but then they also
who
focused
are
the people
dead.
that were still alive.
Correct.
It-
Correct.
yeah,
No,
but-
absolutely. And they showed the real people
Yeah.
as they do in many of these films. So, you know, you'll see the real guys and then the real people who died and so forth. And it's
All right.
and it's a tribute to them. For me,
So you didn't like it, or you did like it?
I thought it was okay as a movie, as a piece of entertainment. I was not entertained. I was not. I guess I knew what the outcome was already. I knew that this thing had exploded because it was just in the news 6
Yeah.
years ago.
Of course.
So we know what happened. There's really no. It's like.
But we didn't know the inner workings of what actually transpired.
Well, very true. I mean, I have to give the Titanic, you know, as a good example of this kind of thing. We know that the ocean liner sank.
Yeah.
We know that 635 people. Forgive me. It was 700 odd people were saved, and the rest of the ship, and it was approximately 2,000 people who died
Yeah.
on the Titanic. So, you know, but that's another story. We just had a massive amount of interchangeable connections between people, and I guess the Titanic just presented itself more as a historical document. Plus, it was over 100 years ago that happened.
Yeah.
This is only 6 years ago, so did it mean anything to me? No. It was another vehicle for Mark Wahlberg, and I did love Kurt Russell in this film, I gotta say. I mean, there's
He's
a couple
great.
scenes there where he just gets pow, pow.
In
you
the
know.
shower.
He's in the
Yeah.
shower, he's shaving, boom, the
Yeah.
fucking mirror just blows up in his face. I mean, that was kind of it was just it was a brutal film that I felt really didn't go anywhere for me. It didn't entertain me, I have to say. I guess it was just too soon too soon, as they say in the trade. All right,
Okay, fair enough.
you liked it. I thought it was okay. It's a good enactment. It's very well done. Budget was
Peter Berg
magnificent.
is really becoming a fantastic filmmaker. I
There you
think.
go. It was a well-made piece of work.
Yeah.
I cannot discredit that for one moment.
You know who
It's-
he's becoming? I feel like he's almost in the same category as Tony Scott was. The go-to guy for these action movies, you know?
Oh, but
'Cause I
Tony has
loved
so much.
Tony Scott.
has so much style.
It
Though.
was such a shame that he had to die. Or
I
he,
know.
You know
He
off a-
jumped off a
bridge.
bridge and killed himself.
Oh, I
and
miss
Ridley,
Tony
his brother
Scott.
Ridley misses
Yeah.
him every day. Of
And
his
you
life.
know, and I love Ridley Scott, but I enjoyed Tony Scott's films. I think a little bit more.
Oh, not me.
No?
No, I love
There
Ridley.
were, and I do too.
No,
Believe
Ridley
me.
is the technician.
He is.
You know,
this
if
guy
they
is
were
more
really
like
more
the gravy.
like, they
you know?
should have made films together almost.
Co-directed.
because
That'd be cool.
They
Imagine
would
that.
have, yeah, because well, they probably did.
It's co-produced. I
I'm
don't
sure
think
they
directed.
probably utilized each other's opinions on their films often.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
I love Ridley Scott, Alien, and Blade Runner. Oh, these are some of the classics.
Did you
of our
watch the
life.
trailer for Alien Covenant, the new
I have not seen the
Prometheus
trailer yet.
sequel?
I can't
It's
really
pretty
say
good.
there's any real Tony Scott film that really stands out in the
You
archives
like The Hunger?
of my mind. Well, I do love The Hunger, but that's
True
a great
Romance
little,
is fantastic.
True Romance is a good film.
And
but
I've
that's
read the original
basically
script. He's
a
done a great job
Tarantino.
with
Yeah,
that.
it's a Tarantino film.
I'm
to
a
some
big
extent.
fan of. I like Crimson Tide.
But all those movies he did with
Denzel did a bunch of good
Denzel,
ones. I
Man
like-
on Fire.
I like that.
and
I liked Unstoppable, Deja Vu. Not my favorite.
Unstoppable, his last film. Oh,
I
I,
know. I
didn't
like
like
that film.
Oh,
That's
I didn't care
fun.
for that.
It's
No,
Die
it
Hard
was
on a
just-
Train.
That was
almost.
stupid.
I liked it,
I know.
and that's based on a true story, you know,
Okay.
loosely.
Okay, there you go.
All right, next film we also covered in the past, but you didn't see it. I did.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a
We're going
Nation.
to do it very quickly
Give me
here.
a synopsis of what
quick
you
synopsis of Birth of a Nation. This is about Nat Turner, who was one of the there were many blacks who uprised against their owners,
revolt, yeah.
revolted against their owners, even though they were treated well, even though they were obviously there was always great horror done. It was
Correct.
truly the Holocaust of the. I hate to say Holocaust because no blacks were killed en masse, but they were held.
Unless you
they
call
were-
mass
they-
hangings, you know.
Well, you know, there
On a
were
smaller
lynchings
scale.
done, true, but you know, many of the slaves were brought here, and I'm not Donald Trump. I'm not gonna uphold this as that this was a good thing. This was not a good thing that these people were brought here as slaves. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, and I enjoyed the fact that the only thing I didn't like about this film, Birth of a Nation, it's about this uprising that Nat Turner did, and he ended up killing 65 people. This is back in 1836 when he did this uprising, and of course the Civil War came along, and then Lincoln freed the slaves in 1863, 1865. But I will say that there was a pretentiousness about this film that
I know what you're
started the
saying.
first hour of the film. It just had and it was directed by Nate Parker, who stars as Nat Turner in
Correct.
the film. He's a fine actor, and yet I'll never forget Prince did a movie, and the name of this film was called what the heck was that
Was it
film?
Purple Rain?
Wasn't Purple? No, Purple Rain was directed by another guy, and a great job on Purple Rain. But there was a film that Prince directed called Under the Cherry Moon.
Oh yeah.
So Prince did this film. It's in black and white. It's a horror to behold. And Prince gave himself a lot of close-ups. He made himself look kind of pretty and princey and sweet. And oh, you like me naughty, or do you like me nice? You know, I mean, it was just it had that. There was a pretentiousness about it, and I hate to even bring that up. It's not even relevant to this film. But I thought Nate Parker kind of presented almost a kind of a fake feeling. And he was with, and once again, Armie Hammer in this film as his
that's
his
right.
slave
He was
keeper.
pretty good in this too.
Armie
yeah.
was good in this film, I have to say, but you know, I just thought that the film was painted in a very false. I felt false. I didn't feel truth in that first hour, and he paints himself as a saint. Nat Turner, he was not a saint. He was a preacher. He did go around and do preachings to other slaves and so forth, and he did witness horrible things that were being done to these other slaves who were just tortured.
How about that scene with the teeth?
Oh, that was horrifying.
Cringe-inducing,
Oh,
that
that
scene,
was
right?
just horrible.
Woo!
That was a horrible thing to watch, and looked very realistic.
Yeah.
But when this film turns evil, when the final last
40 minutes,
last
roughly half hour.
hour, if you want to save, the film comes where the revolts actually start to come, and they just go out and start killing everybody
I
they
know.
can,
Very
and
brutal.
slaughtering them. I love the scene with the one bunch of guys on the left side.
I know, yeah.
It was like right out of Braveheart.
Yeah,
or,
Jackie Earle Haley is like the nasty.
Oh, he was
horrible.
Jackie Earle Haley. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a
Check
son
out
of a
Little
bitch in this
Children. You
movie.
want to see one of the most perverted Jackie Earle Haley.
I love
films.
that film, Little Children.
I do too. What a great movie. Kate Winslet.
I'm due to
man.
watch that again.
Me too. I love that film
That's
so
a great
much.
movie.
But there's a great scene there. It looked like Braveheart.
Yeah.
You know, where
They're
the
fighting,
The blacks
yeah,
are on the
yeah.
one side, and the white guys are on this
Slave
side, and they've
owners,
got
yeah.
their muskets, and they're all ready to charge. And you know, the front line of the black guys just get mowed down and killed, and they just keep going. And I tell you, it was. I love that. I like that. I like to see the underdog.
Of course,
Overcome and just say, you know, there were millions and millions of Jews, and they were trapped in camps and so forth, and on these horrible camps that they went to and so forth. They outnumbered the Germans by thousands and thousands. Yeah. Everyone has said, why didn't they just rush these guys? Sure, the first 100, 200 will die, but eventually they're just going to encapsulate these Germans and kill them all. But there was a fear factor.
Fear and the malnutrition.
Fear,
you know,
but if
the
they
harsh weather conditions.
I know they just went like sheep into
it's horrible.
and
it's
good to see.
thing.
Not good to see, but in this particular instance, where Birth of a Nation is taken from a true story, you know, we see these people uprise and revolt, and it makes you feel good that when people are done wrong, that they uprise and revolt. And
As
I was happy to see. I was happy to see them white slave owners get killed and crucified and axed in the neck, and I mean, it's brutal, and they deserved it. And when people are done wrong and they get revenge, as a moviegoer, as a movie watcher, there's nothing I love more. That's what Clint Eastwood has made a whole career on, and you know, it's just wonderful. Revenge movies are
They're a lot of fun.
They're great fun, and they build within us such angst.
You know, one of the best revenge movies are
guy.
Midnight Express. That ending of that movie when he gets his revenge.
That was totally untrue, by the way.
What?
That if you read the book of Midnight Express,
I didn't read it.
Well, I read the book. Yeah. He just snuck out of that camp at the end.
So none of that crazy stuff happened.
Well, there's that actor Paul Smith.
Yeah.
Paul Smith actually gets his head smashed on a coat peg.
Yeah.
Right, that did not happen. He actually was able to just sneak
well,
out.
As a film,
he gets
I
in a
love
boat
that
and he
ending.
takes the boat over to Turkey.
Okay,
that's what he did.
Well, no, the movie was in Turkey.
He goes over to Greece.
Of
yeah.
course.
But anyway, regardless of that.
So yeah, Birth of a Nation, it's a good film.
It is.
I didn't think it was as enthralling as 12 Years a Slave was.
Well,
obviously,
it could have been a better film.
But I still liked it.
12 Years had a great sense of
it was a beautiful
just
film.
honesty to
it did.
and
Acting,
the performance
the score,
and the
everything
script.
about it.
everything
I thought
about
that
12
that
years.
12 Years was a perfect film, and it
In
deserved to win
essence,
Best Picture.
I totally agree.
It was fantastic.
I totally
Yeah,
agree. It was a
good.
wonderful piece
And
of
a
work.
horrifying performance by Michael Fassbender, of course.
There you go.
Such a good job.
But Michael is the
And
best.
Lupita Nyong'o,
Once again.
career-making performance.
Exactly. Won her Oscar for that film.
And I
just
thought that
wonderful.
Chiwetel Ejiofor should have gotten a nomination for that movie. He was ignored.
We're going to run over time a little bit because it's
Flashback time. Flashback, back.
Yes. And I guess I'll go first and let you,
You go
conclude.
first, Seth.
I'm going to do the
Alfred
Hitchcock's film Rope, which I think was 1948, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to say it's
48 or
19 I'm gonna say-
43?
No, much later.
Yeah, then it was 48. I'm
It
pretty
was
sure I
probably
read today
48.
it was 48.
Yeah, probably 48. Okay.
Rope is honestly, I think it was the
It's a
first.
true story.
Yeah, well, it's loosely based on a true story.
Well, it is.
It's something that happened in Chicago. Yeah.
Right.
It was the first Hitchcock film that I think I saw. Jimmy Stewart. You also had Farley Granger.
I love Jimmy
Yeah.
Stewart.
It's a film that basically takes place at a dinner party. Two students are they are hiding a body in a trunk at a dinner party,
Right.
and then
They have murdered.
they've murdered somebody, and their whole thing is they're so proud of their murder.
Well,
they're
they-
trying to see if anybody can figure it out and deduct that they've done this. And one of their professors comes to the dinner party, played by James Stewart,
Right.
and it's kind of like how he puts the things together little by little,
Right.
the pieces. And it's just a very well done.
This was based on
Well-
an actual murder by two guys who just wanted to kill somebody for the hell of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was two brothers, and they just decided we just want to kill somebody.
Mhm.
We just want to see what it feels like to kill somebody, to murder somebody,
Yeah.
and to see if we can get away with it and commit the
A
perfect
similar
crime.
premises
Basic premise.
explored here.
There you
and
go.
It's just a very fascinating movie.
Got to remember one thing on this film too. The
Yes.
whole thing is done in like 8 takes.
Yeah, but and the way it's edited together, it makes it seem like it's all one
It
fluid take.
really just looks like one take.
The camera cut to like behind somebody's clothing where it's all black, and then the
Correct.
camera just swiftly moves through it. And that's a
Exactly.
hidden cut. It's
an
really well
amazing
done.
piece of
Very
work.
clever.
Hitchcock, just an amazing artist.
And I was reading the trivia
you
today
can't say
on this
anything
film.
bad about Alfred.
Is that sometimes they were in the middle of these long takes, right?
Yeah.
So they couldn't have any errors. So a lot of the actors were really had to be on their mark. So
Absolutely.
there was one scene where one of the actresses was so in the moment that she actually knocks over a cup. And off camera, one of the assistants from, one of the production assistants had to like leap to grab this cup from actually hitting the ground and making a sound and ruining the take.
Really?
And there were two instances where something like that happened. The other one being the camera was moving and the dolly ran over somebody's foot and literally crushed the foot of one of the hands,
Oh, wow.
one of the people that was working on the film, one of the grips.
Mhm.
And they covered up, they grabbed his mouth so he couldn't scream.
Yeah.
And those two takes where those things happened, actually,
IMDb real quick.
it actually stayed in the movie.
Passionate. Forget it.
What do you want me to look up?
No, I'm going to do something else.
Okay. Anyway, I love this film, and I thought it was really one of his best films. I loved it as a kid. It was the first one I saw. I've only seen it once,
Really?
and it stayed with me 30 years later.
Okay.
It's just fascinating.
No, it's a harrowing piece of work.
And you know what I was
It's a
surprised? I
great
was
thing.
reading. You know who one of the screenwriters was?
No.
Hume Cronin. I didn't know he was a writer.
Ah,
Hume Cronin, the actor who's married to Jessica Tandy.
I know him well.
Yeah, I thought
Absolutely.
that was interesting.
Okay, very good.
What are you doing tonight? That's pretty much it. Check out Rope if you like Hitchcock. If you want to see a good mystery.
Okay, I'm gonna do a film called Easy Rider, which I'm
Ah.
sure you've all seen. This
I've
was
never
not the
seen
film
it.
I had originally planned to do.
The ending was ruined for me.
Yeah, the ending is kind of.
Well, let's not tell them. Let's not
Well,
ruin it
it's
for them.
it's a famous ending. I'm sure you've all seen it, but this is a great movie. It has Jack Nicholson really made his
It did.
more or less debut in this film.
Yeah.
This is
a big break.
Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper directed this film.
He did.
Peter Fonda is, they're basically hippies. They go through this whole acid tripping communal world. There's a little bit of sex, a little bit of drugs, and a lot of rock and roll.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to follow. A lot of bird songs, if you like the birds. So you wanna be a rock and roll star? Well, listen now to what I say. Anyway, it goes on and on. It's a nice little film. And did I love this film? I don't know. Has it stand well over the test of time? Yeah, it actually has. It's got that gruesome ending where I'm going to tell you what the ending is too. These two guys are on a motorcycle. They're driving along.
didn't
They're
you give
just
it
going
away?
anywhere. Because this is a famous ending. If you haven't seen this movie by now, you don't deserve to see
You
it.
know, the ending was ruined for me 10 years ago.
Okay, well there you go.
I was
So they're
standing
on this
outside of the
thing.
McDonald's at 2 in the morning.
I like the ending. I like the ending. I like the fact that they both get blown away. But it was very horrifying at the time when I saw this film in theater. And some guy, a redneck, he's got a shotgun, and he says, "Hey, you, hey, long hair, go get a haircut." So Peter Fonda or Dennis Hopper just turns and gives them the old finger deluxe, and then the next thing you know, he whips out a shotgun, kabloom, and Dennis Hopper's head goes flying off.
Wow.
So then you see the truck turn around because Peter Fonda gets off. Oh my God! Oh, you're dead! You're dead! Oh my God! So you see the truck turn around. Oh, well, we killed that guy. We better go back. Sure enough, they go back to kill Peter Fonda too. Kabloom!
Wow.
They blow him away too. Anyway, it's not the film I meant to do tonight. I really wanted to talk about The Passion of Joan of Arc, which
They can't see
performance-
that.
I know they can't, but I can, and I know it's on here. So, but The Passion of Joan of Arc is it's a 1927
We'll cover it.
silent film, and it's anyway. We're out of time, so that's right, friends.
We're out of time. Baby, 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 we're out of time.
Rolling Stones, 1965. Everyone. So there we go. So another harrowing show, our 15th episode,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's 10-5.
Yes.
So
and,
Chris
tune in next week.
doesn't screw up the numbers on when he lists this on Facebook. By the way,
Yeah, exactly.
one thing we do need to do for our humble viewers here
Yes.
is that we need to put a email.
I did that on the last episode.
Yeah, but do it on this episode.
Well,
so
we can tell
at
it
the
to them.
beginning,
Yeah.
so they can ask us questions while the show is on.
Yeah, but we're not going to be able to check email during the show, really.
Why not?
I don't know. It's distracting.
Wouldn't you like it if you could
Hey.
email us and actually have us answer
Hey,
some
you
of
know,
your stupid
I
questions?
put it at the end of our last
That's
episode.
right.
You know, in print. If you want to do it again, feel free, guys.
No. Wait a minute.
If you want to,
We need to put that
interact
on a
with
little
us.
sign so that during the show, because people can't call in now.
no, I know.
You
turn
have
it-
opted
yeah.
to have that turned
Well,
off.
because it screws up the broadcast
it
every time.
screws up our miserable
Yeah,
big
guys, you
chat
can't call in
broadcast.
because
It's
the
true.
interface that we broadcast on, every time it goes into a call, it totally ruins it and it's out of sync, and then
It's
you can't
true.
hear us.
Yeah,
so
things get
I'm
rather
not doing
grim,
it.
so we don't do.
If you want to interact with our show, email us at filmbanter@gmail.com, and make sure to check out our Facebook
No, we
page.
should put that on a little piece of paper and we write that.
We
Film
can look it
Banter
up.
back
We can do that. I
So
can do
that
that.
they can. Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
well,
do it at the beginning of the show.
We
so
can.
people can
If
actually
you
ask
want,
us
yeah, but it's going to
questions.
be have to frame it in perfect, otherwise they're not going to be able to read it, because this light is going to make it look like nothing but a plain white piece of paper.
No. Well, okay. We'll put it on a big giant sign. But then you have your phone on. I remember.
Yeah, I mean,
Kim,
I can.
Kim actually.
Well, that was a BidChat message.
His
They can
girlfriend.
email us on BidChat
oh,
through
you
the
can email
platform.
us. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I'd rather get an email to email, which I have on my phone as well.
Well, all righty.
So anyway,
But we'd like you to be able to contact
here
us
are
during
the
our show.
to interact
There
with
you
us. Here's the way you do it. Email us, filmbanter@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Comments, you want to give us trivia, anything, do it.
Yeah, we
Please
don't
like-
care.
Let me
we
do
don't
this.
care.
Please follow us on Facebook. It's Film Banter on Facebook. You can look it up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or for the direct URL, it's facebook.com/Daryl and Chris Talk Movies.
There you
So
go.
that's us.
I'm
Please
Daryl.
interact.
He's Chris.
Yes. And like our page and follow, because I'm always posting videos.
Yeah.
We're always posting our episodes on there.
Yeah, he does
now,
that.
I
don't do that.
I handle all the media.
He handles all the media.
Yeah.
He handles all the technical issue. That's why our camera doesn't work here tonight.
That's not my fault.
But this camera works, thank God.
Our
But
secondary
this
camera, for
doesn't
some
work.
reason, tonight's not
doesn't
working.
work. Why not? I
And it
don't
really
know.
annoys me.
It really annoys him. And Amazon, you're gonna hear about this.
Yeah, they are. There's no reason that it shouldn't work 2 weeks in.
I agree.
I just bought the damn thing.
All right, folks. It's
All right,
been a
guys.
pleasure, an honor,
Uh,
a privilege.
Happy
all
New Year to
yours,
you all.
Of course, and a
We'll
happy
catch
New
you
Year.
in 2017.
Yeah, we will. We'll see
Yeah.
you next year.
Next year.
everybody.
See you next year, guys.
Take care of yourselves. Hopefully,
what?
nobody else is gonna die. We only have 5 more days.
My gut tells me
One
we're going to
more.
get one more.
You think so? Oh,
Anything
God.
can happen.
Just anything can happen.
Yeah. Hopefully not you.
No, hopefully it's not me.
I don't want to do this show with your dog.
Yeah, really. Well, there are worse things you could do.
I guess there is.
There are worse people you could do the show with
I
than
know.
do.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
We'll see you next week.
We do love you. Take care. Don't go by this. but we
Auf
do love you.
Wiedersehen.